All right, guys. So, I got something a bit different to talk about. Um, Sort of an update on the game development side of things. I've already talked a little bit about this with people on VR chat and social, and like on Discord and stuff like that. But gone into I haven't really gone into a whole lot of detail on my thoughts when it came to VR chat, the the concepts and the kinds of really cool and interesting and varied social environment that something like this actually is. And it got me thinking a lot more about the benefits of having something like this on the Unreal 4 engine versus just the Unity engine, and having it be something that is open-ended so that everybody can utilize it and create an even bigger community uh, that allows people even more ability to really genuinely connect with each other and have more interesting situations like this. So, one of the first things that this really touches on is the value of virtual reality in general, and the fact that virtual reality is only getting better, only getting better. And what you're seeing is like what we're seeing right now is the very rudiments, the very beginnings of a much grander concept starting to play out, but is happening in a way, on a very limited Unity 3D engine where it's very hard to come up with like truly high quality stuff. The renderer is very inefficient. It can't, it runs poorly. It's only one person. There's only one like VR chat like community, and VR chat's the only one that's actually doing things correctly in terms of having an open community where people can be creative and come up with any avatars or worlds that they want to, and they can just kind of contribute in this sort of open world where you never know. Like every time that I do actually log on to VR chat, I have no idea what is going to happen next. I might be in a room filled with people like, using lightsabers and like stabbing each other, and people are falling over next to some dude, Sergeant Hawk over here, he is a stormtrooper, making this like silly dance to a funny song. There is no end to the insane amounts of just whimsical, random comedy, content, whatever. But when it comes to this kind of thing, now I also noticed to a lesser extent some of your bigger YouTubers out there have started playing VR in games like Skyrim and stuff like that. And what do? They have the ability to do these more intricate social interactions where they can hold their hands up and they can say like random and wacky things while they're playing, and it just makes things a lot more entertaining. Mainly because once you start getting into this realm where people have full body tracking and anyone can look or be anything, at any point in time in any kind of world that they want to, um, it creates an environment where it's just possible to do all kinds of just weird, wacky stuff. Like here's this one person, uh, he's got this avatar that was like a whole bunch of different dudes, and it plays like a funny song while he walked into this bathroom when we were, this bathroom was just some other person's world, a high-rise apartment or something like that, and then Lappin over here has a version of Link from Legend of Zelda where he starts screaming and like he's doing this while that's all happening in the background, right? And there's just so much going on, and I can't help but feel like we are now starting to see the early rudiments of what would make for the Oasis, from called Ready Player One. There's a movie called Ready Player One, and they had this thing called the Oasis. Sorry for the interruption. So, okay, at that point in time, there's a lot of things that you might notice with Ready Player One, where they have a game that is built, a social experience in full virtual reality that's sort of done this way in a sort of, in a way where anyone can contribute content because they can craft any gun or any weapon or any car or any character or giant robots or anything that they want, and they can just bring those things into the world in a sort of open manner, and then anyone can make a world, and it's exactly how VR chat is already set up right now. It's just not as in depth. So here's the thing that's important to keep in mind with this, though. So let me show you this. I already kind of showed it before, but all right. So if you have a base social experience for your gaming world, in other words, in the case of Ready Player One, it all starts off where you can be these different characters and different worlds and everything like that, and everyone can enjoy themselves and communicate, and it's basically a 3D, very like immersive social network, right? Well, what happens if on top of that you build a layer of games that you can then sell or just make for free that are part of that? Now, VRChat already kind of does this open social network with things built on top of it, just like the Oasis. So basically, what I'm getting at is that I've been thinking about it so much, and I have to say that my social experiences with VR chat are beyond any kind of like. It's such an amazing thing. Like, to me, it's been something that I've been enjoying immensely, and hanging out with people and meeting new people and conversing with these people, and all kinds of stuff. Like, we get to experience these incredible things all together, and it's just an open community for socializing. What we need now is the next step, and one of the things that I want to build on the Unreal 4 engine is to start getting the desktop variation of having sort of my own sort of VR chat, where all it is just a voice communication kind of social network thing, and then from there I want to continue building on more. So that's one of the interesting experiences with this, is that I'm 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 thinking that once I can establish a social network experience on the base layer, then any games that I build on top of this layer will benefit greatly, because they will be able to benefit from stuff that's already established, character models that people already have. Like, anyone can play any of the games that I design. Like, imagine if I do some like open world survival game or something like that, something kind of simple, but it's built on top of this social network. Then you already have the ability for people to join you, and we can like be in this open world where we're building a house or something, but we get to look as the avatars that we actually own. Like, maybe we have certain avatars that only belong to us because we had paid somebody to make those avatars for us and stuff like that. Just imagine being able to look however you want, just exactly like the Oasis, but also still experience all of these different things, like being able to play like arena shooters against each other, or some kind of Destiny style first person shooter, Revulsion 2 perhaps, or something along those lines. Like, just think about what that would be like if if I had like future projects that were just based on this first layer of a full blown virtual reality social network that's basically VR chat, and then you build the games on top of it, and then you allow it so that anyone can build games on top of it, and then you make it so that anyone can make, can further advance this thing. So, like, the first thing that needs to happen, I think, is there needs to be something that is like totally open source, kind of a setup where we can establish this kind of environment, and then from there it'll be even better to begin working on further working on like indie projects and things of that nature on on top of that. So that's been something that I've already been kind of messing around with it. I've already got a little bit of stuff going. I've tried to do live streams. I've had um, interesting experience trying to do live streaming with virtual reality. The Unreal 4 engine does support currently like being able to use virtual reality while you're actually editing things, but it's really cumbersome and very difficult, especially since I don't have um, contact lenses. I'm kind of half blind when I play VR in the first place. Um, but with that said, I see huge amounts of potential here. But we need, but not just we. I need to see this kind of a thing come to fruition, where I can see fruition, where I can see where I can actually get a baseline social networking kind of a thing set up. Now, I don't know, like, if it should be, like how I would go about all aspects of it, like the ability, like, do people need accounts and stuff like that? Like, I don't really know how that can go, but it needs to be something um, where nobody really has full control over it, and everyone has the freedom to be as creative and as they want without having any fear of of censoring or anything like that. That's my main thinking on it, and that means that this needs to be something that is literally just it just belongs to everybody, like a kind of a community kind of a thing. Now I can probably go into more detail a little bit more, like in regards to like um, how the details that I need to get into place, but one of them is definitely needing to get voice chat in a functional state so that you have a full, a voice attenuation and little details like that. Where there's stuff that I want to see where people's voices are louder if you're looking directly at them, and stuff that doesn't exist in VR chat. The ability to have like cameras that I don't know. You can have like little windows open on the bottom of the screen and stuff like that, or stream cameras, I guess they call them. I don't know. There's all kinds of just little features that VR Chat has right now that would be really amazing to see in this as well. But they're not necessary as long as there's a basic server browser, which is not that hard to do, and voice communication, and that would actually be the baseline implementation where we can literally just see a list of other servers that are already running, which technically are people because none of them are dedicated servers, and being able to just join and talk to people, you know, like that. Having a baseline implementation along those lines would be fantastic, and I think it would be a huge first step. Um, and that's kind of what's been going on in my mind, and it's something that I've been thinking about this month as a goal for this month to actually try and achieve. Now, I don't have a huge amount done; like these buttons aren't even clickable at the moment. But okay, so that should get things kind of updated as far as that is concerned and stuff like that.